up with that?
I'm comfortable if you are as well.
Without it?
Yes.
Perfect. Let's leave it off.
Let's do that.
I like to breathe, you know?
Me too. It's kind of essential, isn't it? For
A little bit. I mean, like, you're not breathing. Are you living?
That's a good question. There are so many ways you could take that. Rudolph,
Right?
looks like it was a fantastic evening.
It was a great evening.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
On a Monday night too.
On a Monday night, how you playing, right? Like, had a couple drinks, had a
Yep.
lot, some good food,
Yeah.
some good drinks, some
Good
amazing
company. Ah, that's awesome.
Even better than great. She's this girl's got a soul of gold.
Better than great. I don't understand that context.
Better than great is.
Oh, sorry. Better than great.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. That is awesome. And are you playing the responsible card by saying time to call it a night for another day of economic responsibility?
Economic responsibility, maybe moral responsibility.
Okay. All of the above.
All of the above.
Gotcha.
You know, some nights you gotta do the right thing.
What do your friends call you for short?
Actually, Rudolph is my legal name. I
Okay.
don't go by it.
Okay.
I go by Ronald.
Ronald,
Yeah.
which is totally unlike Rudolph.
Not at
okay,
all.
Okay,
right?
got
Like,
it, got it.
Ronald is my second name.
Gotcha. Okay. And
So, yeah, Rudolph is legally my first name.
yeah, I've
Ronald is my legal second name.
I've never met a Rudolph before.
Yeah, I mean, I don't meet any either, so.
And the first thing that came to my mind was, I wonder how much he had to endure, like the red nose references.
Oh, as a
and-
kid?
Yes.
Oh man, all the time. But Ronald was no better. I get like Ronald McDonald.
Oh, there is that too.
And then I grew up like I'm a joker, right?
Okay.
So like I'm very humorous
You
about
played off
everything,
of that, yeah.
right? So then like yeah, then it played into like the whole Ronald McDonald, the
Yeah.
clown,
Yeah.
because I was always clowning around, and then every time I like spewed a joke, they'll say, you want fries with that? And then yeah, that was my childhood. I mean, like
Okay.
it never really ever bothered me.
I was gonna say that's a pretty awesome thing, because there are some who don't have that access to their humorous side, so
Yeah.
they would be more prone to take offense or take
Yeah,
it
definitely.
seriously,
Like
so.
if I didn't have the funny bone I do have,
Yeah.
I would definitely be taking offense to it, take it more personally. But I mean, like, I just grew up learning to live with it. You know, like this is who I am.
I found a
Hate it
tremendous
or love it.
right.
But I mean, if you hate it, you can keep on stepping. If you love it, then like I got the same love for you.
Would you say your ability to do that was natural or intentional?
You know, that's a great question.
Just because I'm thinking
I'd say
about
at the start,
Yeah.
like as a kid, like
Yeah.
I wasn't like always a fan of the joking, but then
Right.
like I forced myself to just think like, you know what, like it doesn't mean anything.
right.
Like a name is just a name, and then
Yeah.
I learned to live with it.
Yeah.
And then I'll eventually like it just after
It's
like maybe the first year of living here, it was natural. Like it
Okay.
just I've always been like the kind of like humorous, happy-go-lucky
Sure.
kind of free spirit.
Yeah.
So I roll with the punches, you know, like no matter what, you'll always hit the ground running.
In some sense, I find self-deprecation to be a fantastic expression of freedom, in that others can't sort of maneuver you into a certain response that they're anticipating.
Yeah.
So if you can almost like diffuse their attempts by how you respond, really, and to catch the flavor of it, so it actually, like, their destination is totally missed because you displaced it to a totally different destination, right?
Yeah, that's exactly where I come from with it, right? Like
Yeah.
there's I always run into people who are trying to like press my buttons, but
Yeah.
I know like deep down I'm good at like deflecting from it. I'm not really necessarily like avoiding it, but
Sure.
I'm good at like redirecting it so it doesn't phase me,
Yeah.
and it doesn't give them the satisfaction they're looking for to
Sure.
try and like upset me
Sure.
with any of it.
And I'd even go further, maybe to suggest a lot of times people don't see the way they're controlled by others because they're bound by reactionary responses,
Yeah.
as opposed to pre-choreographing how to prepare themselves for certain contexts and how they're going to respond, so they're own free agent in the interaction, right? To pull out something that is along the lines of what matches their convictions and what's important to them.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? Like you hit the nail on the head with that. It's at a very young age I learned to kind of just like take myself out of it,
Right.
and like instead of reacting impulsively, I'll hear what's happening.
Sure.
And like it still happens like in a split second, but I learned to think of like how I should properly react, and I think that just stems back to like how my parents raised me.
Consider a deep thought experiment with me.
Yeah.
This ideology that we're espousing here, what would that look like in relation to the current protests and responses that have been happening?
Oh, you know what? That's a fantastic question. You got some good questions tonight, man.
I appreciate it, man.
But you know what? Like, the way like that that would look today.
Yeah.
Is I've honestly actually seen a whole bunch of videos of guys that like they're seeing like the negative reaction, all the rioting, or looting, or violence, but they take themselves out of it in the sense that like they're not an impulsive reaction. They see the negativity going on, they see the hatred, they know the proper response, but they take the time to properly process it internally and externalize the right response to it, where it's not out of anger or hatred, it's out of understanding.
So you've seen expressions of that?
Oh yeah, I've seen a bunch of videos where like when I see that kind of response rather than like all this screaming, all this spewing of hatred and all of this, right? Yelling in a cop's face. Like these men have actually, men and women, they've actually taken that proper emotional maturity to respond and diffuse their fellow brothers who are screaming and yelling and coming from a place of anger and hatred and anger. Where they come from a response of empathy and understanding.
Right.
And I think in that emotional maturity, if you can empathize and understand where your aggressor is coming from, then you have the key to diffusing the aggression. And I've seen a lot of videos, especially with the BLM protests.
Right.
I saw one even live. I was there on Tuesday when they protested down 17th Avenue.
Yep.
There was this one kid, I'd say maybe like late teens, 18 to maybe 22 years old.
Okay.
He stopped on his bike, got off in front of the cop who was holding the procession line, keeping traffic at bay, letting the protests through, and like minding his own business to a sense, but also he was in support of what the protesters were doing.
Sure.
This kid stops, gets off his bike, deliberately gets in front of the cop, yells in his face, and it's a white kid too, on top of that, right? It feeds into the whole like BLM, no aggression towards whites. But the person to diffuse it was this, probably the same age, smaller, more petite than this guy, this little black girl who actually came out of the crowd, saw him aggressing the police, came in from a place of empathy and like understanding, and she was able to get him to stop, made him realize like, no, this isn't what the whole movement is about. It's not about reaggressing your oppressor. It's about making your aggressor understand the oppression you're facing.
Sure.
So like she was able to diffuse that by injecting him with proper peace and like kindness and addressing like where his anger comes from. And she was able to use that emotional response to diffuse a very tense situation. The cop was actually very patient with it. I'm very surprised. He was literally like screaming in his face. Right? And like, and it's I think like it relates to that kind of like a response, right?
Sure.
Like it's very, I think reacting that way it shows a lot of maturity and integrity. Because then you understand where these person's morals are. It's not about causing violence, but it's about inflicting change.
I see it as a selfless act where you're saying, I'm going to put what I need to say on hold, like so that I can attend to what you need to hear to be, or what you need to hear to get to a certain place, right? So how can I serve you in your moment of need, kind of thing. Furthermore, I would also propose that like the expressions of hostility to almost like brand every representative of law enforcement with the same stroke is not, it's not a really good, it lacks in getting to the heart of it, right? It's almost like saying, let's just wipe out the, like throw out the baby with the bathwater. That's what I'm trying to say there.
Yep.
And
right, like you think that one bad apple makes a whole bad apple tree.
Right.
But really it's not.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
These are isolated incidents. I mean, they do have some instances where, like in Buffalo, for instance, that 75-year-old man,
yeah.
I'm sure you've heard of that.
I saw the video,
right?
Yeah.
The two cops shoved the man to the ground.
Yeah.
Everybody just walked over him. They didn't care.
Sure.
The two police officers were charged with, I can't remember what they were charged, second degree, no, I can't remember what they were charged with. But anyways, they got charged.
Okay.
They pleaded not guilty, but all 57 police officers of that unit resigned in protest of these two police officers being charged.
Serious?
Yeah, so that they resigned from the unit in protest against these two police officers being protested.
Hold on. Sorry, they were in support of the two officers, or they were in opposition?
No, they were in opposition of the two officers being suspended. So two of their brothers got suspended, so they all decided to take a knee per se and resign from that post until their two brothers are let go free.
Oh, I see, like fired.
Yeah.